Om Namo Narayana, welcome back. Today we are reading the Brahma Upanishad. We're going to read the entire thing just in one video. It's 2 pages, it's a little long, but we're going to go for it. So, Om Shanaka, householder of fame, once asked Bhagavan, Pipalada of Angira's family, in this body, the divine city of Brahman installed, how do they create? Whose glory does this constitute? Who is he who became all this glory? Unto Shanaka, Pipalada imparted the supreme wisdom of Brahman by saying, that is Prana, the Atman. He constitutes the glory of the Atman, the life of the Devas. He represents both the life and the death of the Devas. The Brahman, who shines within the divine Brahmapura, or the body, as the faultless one, devoid of manifested effects, self-effulgent, all-pervading. It is he who controls the Jiva, like a spider controlling the king of bees. Just as spiders by means of one thread project and withdraw the web, so also the prana retires, drawing back his creation. Prana belongs to the nadis, or subtle nerve cords, as their devata, or indwelling deity. One in dreamless sleep goes through that state to one's own abode, like a falcon and the sky, just as a falcon goes to its nest born on the sky. He states, just as this devadatta in dreamless sleep runs not away even when struck with a stick, even so he does not also attach himself to good or evil consequences of the life's ordained activities. Just as a child enjoys itself spontaneously without motive or desiring fruit, even so this devadatta, the subject of dreamless sleep, enjoys happiness in that state. He knows being the light supreme. Desiring light, he enjoys the light. So also he returns by the same way to the dream state, like a leech. Just as a leech carries itself on to the other points in front, first fixing upon the next point, and that state which he does not give up for a next one is called the waking state. He carries all these states within himself, just as a Vedic deity bears the 8 sacrificial cups simultaneously. It is from him that the source of the Vedas and the Devas hang like brass. In this waking state, particularly good and evil obtain for the shining being as ordained. This being, or self, is fully extended into world forms. He is the indwelling controller of things and beings. He is the bird, the crab, the lotus. He is the Purusha, the Prana, the destroyer, the cause and effect, the Brahman and the Atman. He is the Devata making everything known. Whoever knows all this attains to the transcendent Brahman, the underlying support, the subjective principle. Now, this Purusha has 4 seats: the navel, the heart, the throat, and the head. In these shine forth the Brahman with 4 aspects: the state of wakefulness, of dreamless sleep, and the 4th being transcendental state. In the wakeful state, he is Brahman. In the dreaming state, he is Vishnu. In the dreamless sleep, he is Rudra. And in the 4th state, he is the supreme, indestructible one. And he again is the sun, the Vishnu, the Ishvara. He is the Purusha, he is the Prana, he is the Jiva, or the animate being, he is the fire, the Ishvara, and the resplendent. That Brahman which is transcendent shines within all these. In itself, it is devoid of mind, of ears, of hands, and of feet, and of light. There neither are the worlds existing nor non-existing, neither are the Vedas or the Devas or the sacrifices existing nor non-existing. Neither is the mother or father or daughter-in-law existing nor non-existing. Neither is Chandala's son or Pokasa's son existing nor non-existing. Neither is the mendicant existing nor non-existing. So neither all the creatures or the aesthetics, and thus only the one highest Brahman shines there. Within the recess of the heart is that akasa of consciousness, that with many openings, the aim of knowledge within the space of the heart, in which all this universe outside evolves and moves about, in which all this is warped and woofed, as it were. Who knows this knows fully all creation. There the devas, the rishis, the pitris have no control, for being fully awakened, one becomes the knower of all truth. In the heart the devas live, in the heart the pranas are installed, in the heart exists the supreme prana and light, as also the immanent cause with threefold constituents and Mahat principle. It exists within this heart, that is, in the consciousness. Put on the sacrificial thread, which is the supremely sacred, which becomes manifest of yore with Prajapati himself, which embodies longevity, eminence, and purity, and may it be strength and prescience to you. The enlightened one should discard the external thread, putting it off with the sacred tuft of hair on the head. The Supreme Being, as the all-pervading one, is the thread, and he should put this on. This sutra, the Brahma Upanishad, is so called because of its having pierced through and started the process of becoming. This sutra verily constitutes the supreme state. By whom this sutra is known, he is the sage, he has reached beyond the Vedas. By it all, this universe is transfixed as a collection of gems, being strung together on a thread. The yogi, who is the knower of all yogas and the seer of truth, should put on this thread. Established in the state of highest yoga, the wise one should put off the external thread. One who is really self-conscious must put on the thread constituted by awareness of Brahman. On account of wearing this thread, they can neither become contaminated nor unclean. Those who have this thread existing within them, those with this sacrificial thread of knowledge, they among men really know the sutra. They really wear the sacrificial thread on themselves, who are devoted to jhana, who have this jhana for their sacred hair tuft, this jhana for their sacred thread. For them, jhana is the greatest purifier. Jhana, that is the best as such. Those who have this jhana for their tufted hair are as non-different from it as is fire from its flame. The wise one, who is said to be a shiki, or the wearer of tufted hair, while others are mere growers of hair on the head. But those belonging to the three castes of Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, and Vaishyas, who have the right of performing Vedic works, have to put on this common sacred thread, as surely this thread is ordained to be a part of such works. One who has the jhana for his tufted hair, and the same for his sacred thread, has everything about him characterized by Brahmanahood. So know the knowers of the Vedas. This sacred thread of the all-pervading reality is again the purification itself, and that which is the end-all of Vedic works. And the wearer of this thread is the wise one, is Yajna himself, as well as the knower of Yajna. The one self-effulgent Lord, in all beings remaining, hidden, all-pervading, and the self of all beings, controlling and watching over all works, good and bad, living in all creatures, and the witness, the supreme intelligence, the one without a second, having no attributes, the one intelligent active being among the many inactive, he who makes the many from what is one, the wise men who find out this self, theirs is the eternal peace, not of others. Having made oneself the Arani and the Pranava, and rubbing them together through the practice of meditation, they see the Lord in his hidden reality. As in the oil in the sesamum seed, the butter in the curd, water in the flowing waves, and fire in the shami wood, so is the Atman in oneself to be discovered by one who searches for it through truth and austere practice. As the spider weaves out the web and again withdraws it, so the Jiva comes out to and goes back again to the wakeful and dreaming states respectively. The heart resembles the calyx of a lotus, full of cavities, and also with its face turned downwards. Know that to be the great habitat of the whole universe. Know the wakeful state to have for its center the eyes. The dreaming state should be assigned to the throat. The state of dreamless sleep is in the heart, and the transcendental state is the crown of the head. From the fact of an individual holding his self by means of prajna, or a spiritual understanding in the Supreme Self, we have what is called Sanya and Jnana, as also the worshipping associated with Sanya. The Sanya by meditation is devoid of any offering of liquids, and so also of any exertion of body and speech. It is the unifying principle for all creatures, and this is really the Sanya for Ekadandis, from which, without reaching it, the speech falls back with the mind. That is the transcendental bliss of this embodied form, knowing which the wise one is released from all bondage. And this bliss is verily the self which pervades the whole universe, as the butter diffused within the milk. This is the Brahman Upanishad, or the supreme wisdom of Brahman, in the form of a unity of the Atman of all, founded on the spiritual discipline, which is nothing but the Vidya, or the science of the Atman. And thus ends the Brahman Upanishad. They always end it there. They never end it with, and then a student raised his hand and said, could you repeat that, please?